sides. All right. So those are the main keywords that we have to keep in mind. It's like a checklist, you know, in which we have to understand, we have to think about when we make a side view, and then when we make a side view, we have to think about all that. Okay, so for the moment, I just take this, okay, and I put it up here, just in front of me, okay? All right, so you can see it's there, all right? Now, I take my pencil, and because when we talk about card proportions, the first thing we do, especially we Italians, okay, it's we do this in side view. I know that some people, even in some schools, they ask you right away to go in 3/4 front, 3/4 back, top view, to really have fun in your brainstorming phase about lots of perspective stuff, which is very good. But if we want to learn how to keep control on proportions before we take that sketch well proportioned and we start going around that object, okay, that we are sketching, the first step, it's gonna be the side view. So let's make a side view, okay? Now, when I make a side view, sometimes, as you know, okay, I don't want to repeat all the time the same thing. I always, side view is a perspective, as we said, it's 1-point perspective, okay? This is my base. I know that this is my center wheel, and that the rocker panel line, more or less, it's gonna be in this area. Then we're gonna have our shadow, the wheels in the back, which are those ones, okay? Here too, which is this one, okay? I go kind of fast, so don't worry, I'm not making a super nice cool sketch. I'm giving you some tips after we'll make a sketch. And then we have to play with our shadow, and we push the shadow under the car for two reasons, okay? Because the light is coming from here, so the shadow goes under the car, and this will create a depth, okay? A very good depth feeling, which is very important for how can I say, for the perception of the composition, okay? Already this makes very dynamic whatever we're gonna make, okay? All right, we are 20. You guys, if you are new to this channel, we talk about car design tips, sketching, how to sketch cars. Please subscribe to my channel. You will love it. Every Tuesday and every Friday we are here at this time, 8:30 p.m. in India, and in Europe it is 5 p.m. Okay, ciao Real. Don't worry, I'm just starting. Okay, we talk about car proportions today. Real, something that you know very well because we talk about that too. Ciao Abhishek. Abhishek, I'm almost repeating some of our courses, okay, online. But today I really want to make it for everybody. Okay, so one more thing I want to tell you. Don't forget, Friday we have our guest for our live chat, okay? And I think that the microphone is a little bit too strong because I see red all over in front of my eyes. Therefore, I put it down a little bit. It should be better. And this Friday, okay, 8:30 p.m. in India and 5 p.m. in Europe, France, Italy, Spain, whatever, we're gonna have our live chat with a nice guest. And tomorrow I will reveal to all of you who is gonna be our guest. A man with lots of experience in car design as a designer. Okay? Alright, so now when you guys make your sketch sometimes, okay, you know, I see that people that they do things like this, okay, and then do that. I sing those things, okay? I'm trying to reproduce things that you do, okay? or that sometimes you make something like this, okay, then very squarish, and then in the back you do little things like that, okay. So whether you do this because it's soft and for you looks really good because it's all bubble design car stuff, or whether you do something that is a little bit more structured, okay, with a little thing in the back, one thing you have to understand at the beginning, at the very beginning, is the overall attitude. So I take back my keywords, my checklist, and the first thing is the attitude, okay? So when we look at this, what is the attitude of those two shapes, okay? This one, I will do one in black, okay? All right. And then the other one, I will do it in red, okay? And then sometimes you guys do this. Okay, so you see two different type of approach, okay? But when we look at that, what is the attitude? Okay, if I take the red one, the attitude of this car or this sketch is like this. So the car is going that way. You understand? Even if it's a little bit dynamic because it's coming down in the front, it's a little bit higher in the back. But because there's this big bubble thing, when I look at the car, it looks like the car it's broken, it's breaking. You know, it's pushing that way. I don't know if you see it. And when I look at this one, even if this one also has the same direction, okay, this is the direction, okay, it's very static. First of all, here and here, we have a very super short overhang. And here, also, very short. This means that when I check those two cars in top view, you know, in top view, they are very flat, like really old cars of the 70s, you know, ultra flat with sharp corner. There's no space to turn, and many of you make that mistake. So, ciao Isaac, welcome back. So what I want to say is that when you make a sketch, you have to think about your front overhang, okay, and your back, wait, like that, and your back overhang. This one is important, and this plays a big role, you know, a big role when we talk about proportions. Then of course, you know, a lot of people will teach you that the right proportions is, I don't know how many wheels in between, you know, in the wheelbase, you know, stuff like that, how many wheels higher. That's okay, that's right. I learned that way at school. But if you do this and you don't do the rest, it's useless. So you have to really to think about that. So this is the attitude and this is the other attitude. So the attitude is a little strange, especially the red one, It's like this bubble is ready to break, or maybe this car just braked very strong on the front brakes, and this thing it's almost, you know, squeezing, pushing that way. This is the attitude, okay? Now, let's come back to our sketch, to our keywords, okay? And let's talk about dynamic versus static, okay? Now, between the two, the red one is a little bit more dynamic. The black one is really static, very static. And I will show you in another sketch how to understand when you're doing something static or something dynamic. Make the attitude of the car more composing. Hi Razak, ciao, welcome back. Short overhangs means this. Look, I will do it for you here very quickly, okay? Very quickly, so you understand. This is front wheels, and this one is the back wheels. Okay? Alright. So this is the front. Okay? Now, if I look at the black car with this short overhang, I have a car that is doing this. And in the back, it's already there. You see? This means, because when I take that size and this one, you see? So this is one of the aspects that you have to think about before you sketch, because that's the car you're doing. Maybe you want to do a car that is round, that is... Oh, thank you, Kazushi Miri. Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm very glad you bought my book, my ebook. Hey, you guys, if you want to buy my ebook, it's on lulu.com. www.lulu.com. lulu.com. Okay, so if you do a bigger overhang, like for example the red car, you know, not so much here, but here, where this space is a little bit bigger, then we probably have this. You see? And this is much better, because if you look at today's car, they all have this type of front and also a little bit on the back. We always need a flash, you know? Okay? I hope that this explains a little bit better the question of the overhangs, but now we're gonna see it in another exercise. Okay, so we're talking about dynamic and static, okay? So I make a first sketch here. All right, make a big car. Let's make a nice car. Once again, I go fast, eh? Hey, look at that. It looks like we are making something really aerodynamic. Why, Kazushi, you don't like it? If you don't like it, I'm sorry. Okay, so now let's make the greenhouse. Okay. All right. So this is the first one. Now I will make another one with the same wheelbase. Okay. All right. So we were doing this. Okay, so now that you see those two, we have one that is static, and we have the other one that is dynamic. So this one is static. Okay? And this one is static for a very simple reason. Look. Look the attitude of this car. You're welcome, Subhatra. But B21, to be honest, I have sold more than 400 ebooks. And only 2 people told me that they didn't like it. One guy from India 1 year and a half ago, and now Kazushi. And I'm sorry for those 2 guys, okay? But so far, all the people that are buying it, they write emails to me telling me that they like it, okay? So, but that's okay. I mean, whatever I do, it's not that you have to like it 100%. It's normal. Now, this one, it's dynamic. Because this one has a different type of attitude. You see? Now, do you understand the difference between those two? Thank you, B21. Thank you. So, you see the difference between those two? This is static. We have the highest point in the center. We have this inclination and these inclinations, they are the same. This overhang and this one are the same. So everything, so it's correct. It's not bad, but at the same time, it's static. You don't need to be sorry for them. You do a good. Thank you, Ballard. Thank you very much. But that's okay. I understand that some people don't like what I do. I mean, I can understand that. I know that if I put something online, you know, or here on YouTube when I talk, when I sketch, there are a lot of people that can tell me I don't like what you say, what you do, I don't agree, and other people that fortunately say the contrary, that they do like, and this is because there is democracy. So I take the positive and the negative feedback. It's okay. It's fine. It's a part of the game. It's correct. Thank you, Real. All right, so this is the attitude. Now let's make another little sketch, okay? And this time let's work with shapes. If I make a cube, this is static. All right? If I make cylinder or a parallelepiped, it's also static. But if I change those shapes into something else, then they will not be static anymore. Ciao, bao. Good, bravo. Benjamin Smith, thank you for everything, taking time. Oh, that's my pleasure. Thank you very much. Hey, Merda. Merda, those people show you that you are going the right way. Thank you, thanks. All right, so now let's take this cube and let's change it, okay? If I do this, you see what I'm doing? I am modifying my cube and I'm shifting the weight of the proportions, which means I am shifting the dynamic of this. The dynamic of this Kazushi, it is very simple. If you bought it from lulu.com, you can go on lulu.com and ask for a refund or to give it back. There is an option for that. So you can just do it with them. If you bought it with me directly, like sometimes I do with some of you, for €7 and not $10, I could have given back the money to you, no problem. All right, so this is changing the shape, and the objective is that when I have this, it's one thing. When I have this, it's another thing. When I have this, it's a completely different thing. So when I make a car sketch, first of all thing, I want to decide the attitude. So if this is my attitude, then I will sketch something that will respect that attitude. You see? And also the belt line, for example, it plays a major role in the attitude of the car. Then we have also the shape and the volumes, as I said before at the beginning. So if, for example, I change a little bit the section, you see, then we start getting something. Have to change pencil because the other one is too small. Okay, so when we look at this sketch, this is a dynamic sketch. So now we have the right attitude because we want an aggressive, sporty attitude. So visually the car is pushing, okay? It's pushing that way. Second, dynamic or static. This one is dynamic. There's no doubt about it, because it's almost like this type of shape, you see? Volumes and shapes. So this means medium, the curves must be, must be well thought out. For example, let's look the way I did this line here. You see, this line has, in reality, this is an accelerated line, okay? Thank you, Choppy. Thank you. So look. This line, if I look at this line, it's made of 4 lines. Ciao Anish, thanks for being with us. So we have a first line here, a second one here, a third one here, and the fourth one is here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So that means that when I make the line of the top, I'm not just making one line like some of people do, or just breaking and then putting the radius. No, I have to take care of that line. That line is like alive. So I really want that line do something. And when I do that, in reality, I'm composing a line made of other lines. For example, let's look this one. This one has its own attitude, which is this one. You see? It's part of a big cylinder. All right? Now, also this line that's coming up has this attitude because it starts from here, comes down, and it goes with the main attitude of the car. So this line here, it's reinforcing, okay, the overall design and proportions of this car. Abhishek, which one? The point above. I didn't understand. Okay, while you write again, I explain the last thing, Then there is this line here. And this line also participates in sort of a squeezing the body to make it look more aero, more slim, and more pointing in the front. The belt line is also doing its job because it's doing the same thing. It's going down there. And the fact that my windshield is it's not flat like that, but it's going a little bit like this before meeting, before meeting the top of the car, it's because it's doing that. So what I'm trying to say is that we have to, when we make a sketch, we have to think about all those elements. The attitude for me is one of the most important. Then the last one, we talk about the lines, the volumes. The last one is the wheels. Some of you make small wheels or small rims like this one. Look, if I make a small rim with a lots of tire, and the little thing in the middle, like I see sometimes in some of the sketches that you send to me, okay, asking for advice, this makes the wheel and the car attitude kind of old, okay? You have taken the point above the rear section and not above the roof from the triangle. Yes, of course, because I count from this point to this point, Abhishek. So the triangle is here, and if I follow the inclination of my windshield, it's like this. So it's always this shape on two wheels. Now for the wheels, it's very important we get the right size. So for example, my wheels look a little bit small. To me they are small. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna make bigger wheels, and you're gonna see that it's gonna look, everything is gonna be much better than before. So if I make my wheels like this, okay, not too much, because I'm searching the right proportion. I'm not just make huge wheels. I want the right wheel size for this type of car. And we make also the front one a little bit bigger. Okay, now can you see that it looks much better? Hey, pickup trucks, I would like to give it to you, but I can't. Draw the original Twingo. I think it has an interesting proportions. Yeah, the original Twingo is one of the best car design, iconic car designs of the last 30 years. Hi Patrick, Partik, Hill Station, ciao. Thank you, thanks. Then look what I do. I make the rim. And the rim, it's gonna be also big. You see? So if I make now the rubber part, okay, the tire, then I can go and make, I don't know, whatever we want to do in terms of graphics, okay? So that we animate a little bit, but you can do whatever you want, the design you want, of course. You see? Now there's a big change there. We make a little bit of shading because that part is inside, therefore it's a little bit in shadow. And there we have our wheel. Now it looks really nice, very powerful. Let's put a little bit of graphics like that. Okay, so let's make also this one. All right, so the center is here, and then we can just do the same thing we did on the other side. Put our graphics. We put a little bit of shadow because this part, as we said, is in shadow. Okay, so you see now we have a nice little car, sporty car. All right. Now we can put also, for example, the door. Okay, so here we have, thank you, Patriot. So here we have our shape, okay? Ah, Charlie, hi. That is my YouTube channel, okay. All right. So now if we go back to this, okay, wait, here we have the how can I say, the resume of our lesson of today. So we got the attitude, okay, it looks good, it looks really well sitting on the ground, the proportions are correct. The overhangs are fine. The back one is a little bit longer. You know, the back I could do even longer if I want to. You know, something like this, for example. It would be still good. You see? Then we know that this is dynamic, not static, and this is something that we should always, my opinion, okay, we should always try to have. Then we have some volumes, we have some changes in the shapes that help to get better proportions, the main volume of the car, on the mass of the car, break a little bit those volumes so that it feels better, okay. All right. All right. Then we have lines, and we talked about lines. Okay, Patrick. Neatish, for me it's giving some Aston Martin vibes. Yeah, a little bit. It's a little bit British looking. It's true. You're right. Then we got the lines. We talked about this line that is made of 4 lines. Same thing, you know, if you look at the others, you know, lines, they are thought out. It's not that I've just put a line. I really make sure that this line has the right curvature that helps a lot to show better the volume, to push the car. If this one was just straight, it would have been different, the attitude of this back. Now, because it's round, I know that here, starting this point, the car is starting to turn in the back. So this will have in top view a real nice, section. You see? Very tense, like a little bit like the Audis, the Audis are like that. And then we talk about the wheel sides, which are very important to make sure that we make the big wheels, but at the right size, without exaggerating too much. And at the same time, those wheel size, this wheel size fits really well the overall shape, the overall attitude, the type of a car, because if you have a city car, you will never use big wheels like that. We have to think of different type of wheel sides, of course. Okay, so this is the lesson for today. All right, this is good. Ciao, ciao Mexico, ciao, gracias amigo, ciao Edgar, a la próxima vez. Thank you very much, and see you Friday. Don't forget, tell everybody. And when you see my social networks promotion starting tomorrow about the Friday Meet live chat, please share it. You take it and you share it with your friends. We need a lot of people here Friday. Okay? Thank you very much. Bye bye. Ciao.